A centre of Christian worship, music, sightseeing, events and community gatherings, Exeter Cathedral has been here for the people of Devon for over 900 years. Today, it's a well-known destination for lunchtime breaks on the green, a place of interest for holidaymakers. In fact, anyone looking for some peace and quiet away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. But Exeter Cathedral and the monastery that was built before it have a long and sometimes troubled story to tell. It's a story that includes Viking attacks in the 11th century, Henry VIII's Reformation in the 16th century, the English Civil War in the 17th century, and even a Second World War bomb in the last century. Amazingly, despite all of this, much of the building dating back to the 12th century is still intact, and ever since the building began, architects, builders and craftspeople have worked continuously on the cathedral. Changing some parts and adding new parts, they have strived throughout centuries of hard, dedicated and sometimes dangerous work to create the stunning building that we enjoy today. With long stone-vaulted ceiling, intricate carvings of stone and wood, painting and gilding, and of course all bathed in Technicolor light from the stained glass windows. Stained glass windows are an important feature of any cathedral and church. They use pictures to tell of things that have happened in the history of the building and its local area, show biblical stories, or portraits of Christian saints and other important people. Many of the stained glass windows in Exeter Cathedral's East End chapels have been exposed to wind, rain, and sunshine for over 700 years, and are now in desperate need of some care and attention. So Exeter Cathedral has asked a stained glass conservation expert to help preserve these windows before they get any worse.
My name's Jack Clare. I'm a stained glass conservator based in Wells in Somerset, and I run a specialist stained glass studio called Holywell Glass. Holywell Glass was set up 25 years ago now by my father. It's a family company. We recently worked on the beautiful medieval glazing scheme at Winchester Cathedral, which involved 9 huge windows full of wonderful medieval glass from the 15th century. We're currently now working on a similar sized project at Exeter, with glass, some of which is even older, dating back nearly 700 years. Everything we do is backed by conservation science nowadays, so we look at the environmental conditions the glass sits in. Repeated exposure to moisture really accelerates the breakdown of the body of the glass itself. So there's a real thick, sooty layer of grime on the surface which held moisture against it and accelerated this corrosion as well. So we are installing a secondary environmental protective glazing layer to take the condensation and the rain, the weathering off of the historic glass. The leadwork that holds the glass together, which is an H section. A bit of glass sits in either side of the H of the lead, and then the whole thing is soldered together. Over time, this lead matrix can bow and distort. If this happens to an extreme level, which it had in a couple of these windows, it can cause breakages to the glass itself and further damage. There's a number of steps to the procedure. It's very labour intensive. We have to remove the windows from their architectural setting. It's held by a lime mortar around the edge, so we chip this away with fine tungsten tip chisels and ease the panels from their openings to bring them back to the workshop here in Wells. Everything's religiously photographed and recorded, so we take a number of pre-conservation photographs. We've got over 12,000 individual bits of glass here from the cathedral, so we need to know where they all come from. We overlay some paper over the panels and take a wax rubbing of them. When we then move on to the next step of dismantling the glass from its leadwork, we can piece it on top of the paper, and it's an exact guide of where they all went. We don't fully dismantle, we preserve leadwork where we can, but in the case of the windows at Exeter, we had to largely dismantle at least one of the windows. If you've got a cracked bit of glass, we try and repair it in the most suitable method. The leadwork is renewed with new lead came, which is the H-section lead, which exactly matches the historic in both section and the heart depth that actually contains the glass, so it keeps its character. We have to rub the lead with the tallow, which is an animal fat, and that acts as a flux and helps the solder itself adhere to the lead to grip onto it and hold the joints together. The panels are cleaned with painstaking care and many thousands of small cotton wool swabs with a mixture, in this case, of deionised water and acetone. Finally, we have to refit the panels into their rightful place. The panels are supported on metal bars, and any ferrous bars, any iron bars that would rust and cause damage to the surrounding stone, we replace for bronze because they're so corrosion resistant and also architecturally beautiful. Hopefully the work we've done here will preserve these for centuries to come for future generations to enjoy.